This is your Daily 5 for Thursday, September 18th, 2025. Lando and I recently reviewed an OVA that we watched titled Dragon's Heaven. And after that, because I realized that it's a good idea to have some shorter titles that are ready to go, because sometimes Lando and I will run a little bit late, but we don't want to go too far, because on Lando's side in particular, it's very late and he has a family and other things that he does. And so I do kind of feel bad if I ended up keeping him up too late. And so while we normally manage to watch 90-minute films or so, except for the rare thing like Megalopolis, I've also been starting to stockpile things that are closer to an hour or 45 minutes. And OVAs are perfect for that. Animated films or one-offs or whatever, they're titled original video animations. Those are really good because often those are sub 60 minutes. And I came across one, or was sent one, I don't remember exactly how I saw the imagery from this, but there was one that I decided that we should watch when we had kind of a shorter window of time, titled Download Devil Circuit. And I only really saw some stills of this thing, and I read a brief description that said it was about a monk who teams up with an exotic dancer to fight a cyberpunk corporation. And I thought, okay, this sounds like it has potential. Little did I know that this would be, I think this might be Lando's favorite thing we've watched together since Megalopolis, probably. It is one of the most sincerely funny animated anythings I've watched in years, and it is a bizarre little, as far as I can tell, it was based only on a video game that, and that's the only other thing it's connected to, but it really there's no manga involved, there was no real source material outside, I guess, a video game at some point, and this is just this one little one-off thing, and it is a perfect example of a get in, get out, very similar to Dragon's Heaven. It doesn't waste a lot of time. I think it's 43 or 44 minutes long. It's very, very light on anything that is not directly involved in the plot or is a joke at the main character's expense. That's one thing that the synopsis did not give away, that the main character is the biggest born loser you've seen in a film in a while. And his comedic attempts to be suave and smooth and get a woman to do anything with him, also, they just continually fail in bigger and bigger ways. He just comes off looking dumber. And at no point does the movie ever attempt to make him into anything other than a born loser. And that's part of the charm of the film. The animation's also gorgeous. The tone of this OVA is very juvenile in many ways, but it does not cross a certain threshold that a lot of Japanese animation that skews in this direction often does, where it becomes kind of embarrassing to watch, or it gets into kind of unsettling realms where we're talking about not so much kind of the bumbling sexual antics of somebody who's just desperate to get any type of affection at all, and then we end up in, now we're in sexual assault territory. And fortunately, this movie avoids all that. There's no nudity whatsoever in it, even though you keep expecting there to be. The main character is at no point seen as anything other than what he is by all of the females that are around him. So he never is fooling anybody with his routine. And yet he is the heroic character of the film. And he's not necessarily a bad character, a bad person. He's just so out of his element in everything that he becomes a very effective comedic character to follow, where you know he's never going to succeed in any of his attempts to get anywhere with a woman, and yet you kind of hope he does, even though you know that he won't. And that's the comedic power. I mean, we were laughing. If you hear the commentary when we release it, we are laughing actively throughout this. It's also, as I said, gorgeously animated. You know, this kind of tail end, late 80s, early 90s. There's there's some heavy Akira references, let me tell you. Particularly at the end when the main character is in a bike. That is so close to copyright infringement that I'm astonished they got away with it. Or maybe it was kind of a knowing wink. It's great. It's great. I have no complaints. So again, it's called Download Devil Circuit. I will link to the archive.org copy of it because there's nothing, it was released on a Laserdisc at some point and nothing ever since. So that's really the only way to watch it. But even so, good quality, good. The subtitles are baked in. If you like this type of stuff, watch this as soon as you can. If you haven't seen it already, it's quite a riot. Later.